Sergeant Marcus Vale walked carefully through the thick jungle of planet Viridian 9. The air was warm and full of strange sounds. Leaves the size of doors brushed against his armor. He checked his scanner again. No human life nearby. Just wildlife, plants, and silence. Marcus was on patrol. His mission was simple: explore the southern jungle and report any signs of danger. The outpost command said this zone was safe, but Marcus didn't trust that. Viridian 9 was still wild and full of unknowns. As he stepped over a large root, a strange sound hit his ears, high-pitched, like a child crying. He stopped. "Help, please help. Human, help my mom." Marcus froze. The words were broken but clear. His helmet's translator clicked and replayed the message again. "Human, help my mom. My alien mother is trapped in a savage hunting snare." He turned in the direction of the voice. It was coming from the deeper part of the jungle, marked on the map as uncharted. "Who's there?" Marcus called. No answer. Just the crying voice again. "Please, human. My mom is going to die." Marcus hesitated for only a second. Then he pushed forward. His boots sank slightly in the soft ground as he moved quickly, pushing branches aside. The jungle grew darker and louder with buzzing insects and rustling leaves. After 10 minutes of walking, he saw movement. A small figure stood by a tree, waving its thin arms. It wasn't human. The child's skin was a pale greenish blue and its eyes were large and glowing. Thin antennae moved on its head. "A Zalari," Marcus whispered. He had seen pictures of the Zalari, an insect-like species that lived deep in this jungle. Very shy, very private. They didn't talk to humans, but this child was desperate. "You heard me," the alien child said, voice full of hope. "You are human. You can help. My mom is caught." "Show me," Marcus said gently. The child turned and began running. Marcus followed. They moved through tangled vines and glowing plants down into a small ravine filled with mist. "There!" the child cried. Marcus saw her. The alien mother was hanging upside down from a thick tree branch, caught in a complex metal snare. Her limbs were trapped in glowing energy wires. She struggled weakly, clicking in pain. The snare was old, but advanced, something Marcus had never seen before. He scanned it with his tool. "This is no normal trap," he said. "It's not from your people, is it?" The child shook his head. "No, the old hunters. They left it here long ago. We stay away. But my mom, she was gathering healing roots. She stepped on the wrong place." Marcus stepped closer, examining the device. It had moving parts and energy fields. Designed not just to trap, but to hurt slowly. "This is a hunting snare," Marcus muttered. "But who hunts like this?" Suddenly a deep growl echoed through the trees. The child gasped and hid behind Marcus. From the shadows, a large creature appeared. 6 legs, glowing eyes, sharp teeth dripping with saliva. "A thrasher beast," Marcus whispered. His scanner beeped. The snare had sent a signal, like a dinner bell. "Stay behind me," Marcus ordered. The thrasher lunged forward. Marcus rolled to the side and fired his plasma lance. The blast hit the creature's shoulder. It shrieked and charged again. Marcus dodged, aimed, and fired again, this time hitting the chest. The creature fell with a loud thud, shaking the trees. The child peeked from behind him, eyes wide. "You killed it." "I had to," Marcus said, breathing hard. "It was going to hurt you. And your mom." He turned back to the snare. "We don't have much time. More beasts will come. This thing is calling them." The mother made a soft clicking sound. Weak, but thankful. Marcus got to work. Using his tools, he began to hack the snare's energy wires. It was tricky. The device had sensors. One wrong move could tighten the trap. As he worked, the child sat beside his mother, holding her hand. "You'll be okay, Mom. The human is helping." Marcus smiled a little. He didn't expect to be called the human like that. But in this moment, he didn't mind. "I've seen many traps," he said. "But this one is different. It's smart, like it's watching me." He paused. Then he looked closer at the metal. There were carvings, symbols, maybe a language. The old hunters, Marcus whispered again. Who were they? The child replied quietly. They came long ago. They hunted for fun, left traps, took trophies. My people fought them, but many died. Some traps were left behind. We try to forget. Marcus felt a chill. This trap wasn't just ancient. It was part of something much bigger. And it was still active. I'll get you out, he said to the mother. Carefully, he sliced through the last energy wire. The snare sparked and went dark. The metal arms relaxed. The alien mother fell gently into his arms. She was light, barely, conscious, but alive. We need shelter, Marcus said. It's not safe here. I know a place, the child said quickly. A healer's den nearby. Lead the way, Marcus nodded. They moved fast. The child guided him through a hidden path. Soon they reached a small cave covered with glowing moss. Inside it was quiet and cool. Marcus laid the mother down gently. He gave her a dose of human med gel. The child watched closely. She's resting, Marcus said. She'll be okay. The child looked up at him. You came when I called. No one else would have. I'm human, Marcus said simply. We help when someone's in trouble. That's what we do. Outside, the jungle whispered with strange sounds. But inside the den, it was peaceful. Marcus sat near the entrance, weapon ready. He didn't know what else the jungle would send, but he'd face it, because a child had cried for help, and a human had answered. The jungle outside the healer's den was quiet, but Marcus didn't relax. He sat near the entrance holding his plasma lance, eyes watching the trees. Something still didn't feel right. Inside the cave, the alien mother slept, her breathing slow and steady. The child sat beside her, gently wiping her forehead with a damp leaf. Marcus looked at them. They were different, so alien, but so familiar. The love between a mother and child was the same, even on another planet. He checked his communicator. Static. No signal, he muttered. We're too deep in the jungle. The child looked up. Can't you call your people? I'm trying, Marcus said. But this part of the jungle blocks all signals. Maybe if I climb higher ground I can reach them. The child nodded slowly, then said, My name is Kira. Marcus gave a small smile. Nice to meet you, Kira. I'm Marcus. You fight like the heroes in our stories, Kira said. You saved us. Marcus looked away. I just did what anyone should do. Kira shook her head. No. Others heard me cry, but they ran away. You didn't. Marcus didn't know what to say. He checked his scanner. It beeped softly, life signs moving nearby. Not human. Not Zalari. Something else. Kira, we can't stay here long. The trap your mom was caught in, it sent a signal. More creatures will come. Kira's eyes widened. Like the beast you killed? Maybe worse, Marcus said. That trap wasn't made by nature. It was made to call hunters, and they'll come looking. Suddenly a loud roar echoed through the jungle. Trees shook. The mother woke up, her eyes wide with fear. They're here, she said weakly, in her native tongue. Marcus stood up, readying his weapon. Stay with your mom, Kira. I'll check outside. He stepped out of the den. The sunlight was dim, filtered through thick leaves. The ground vibrated under his feet. Then he saw them. 2 thrasher beasts, even larger than the first one, moving through the trees with powerful legs and glowing eyes. Of course they travel in pairs, Marcus muttered. He backed up slowly, planning a defense. He placed a motion mine near the entrance just in case, then he climbed a thick tree for a better view. From above he saw something worse, metal shapes moving between the trees. Not animals. Drones, he whispered. Old, hunter drones. The machines had insect-like wings and long legs. Their bodies were covered with rust, but they still moved fast. They were scanning the jungle, looking for movement. Marcus climbed down quickly and returned to the den. Kira, he said. We have to move. Now. Where? She asked. There's a dry ridge about 2 kilometers west. High ground. I might get a signal there, and will be harder to find. The alien mother tried to sit up. She winced in pain but nodded. Marcus helped her to her feet. Can you walk? Not fast, she said. Marcus thought for a moment. Then he grabbed some large vines outside the cave and quickly built a sling. He gently placed the mother inside and tied it over his shoulders like a backpack. You're strong, Kira said in surprise. Marcus chuckled. Human soldiers train for this kind of thing. With Kira beside him and the mother on his back, Marcus began moving west, avoiding open paths and using the thick jungle for cover. The sun above moved slowly, and the jungle grew hotter. They walked for over an hour. Kira stayed close, her eyes scanning the trees. She knew this forest better than Marcus, and sometimes pointed out danger. Poison plants, hidden roots, and even warning signs carved into trees. You're a good guide, Marcus said. Kira smiled. My mom taught me. As they reached the ridge, Marcus finally got a signal. His communicator beeped. Yes, he said. He opened a channel. This is Sergeant Marcus Vale to Outpost Echo 7. Do you read me? Static. Then a voice came through. Vale, this is Command. We thought you were lost. What's your status? I found survivors. A Zalari mother and child. The mother was caught in an old trap, one of those ancient hunting snares. We're under threat from predator beasts and drones, requesting backup and medical aid. There was a pause. Then Command said, Negative, Sergeant. You are in restricted zone. Protocol says no interference with native species. Return to base alone. Marcus stared at the communicator. They'll die if I leave them. Your orders are clear. The line went dead. Marcus clenched his fists. He looked at Kira, then at her mother. She was fading again, her strength nearly gone. I'm not leaving them, he said softly. Kira looked up. What now? Marcus stood tall. Now we fight. He found an old exploration rover hidden under vines nearby, abandoned by a science team long ago. He opened its panel and began working, using his tools to power it up. Still works, he said with a grin. Let's upgrade it. He attached the plasma battery from his lance to the rover's core. Then he added motion mines, fire traps, and sharp shields to its frame. Kira watched with wide eyes. Is it a battle machine now? Sort of, Marcus said. It's our escape ride, and a surprise for anything that tries to stop us. As the sun began to set, Marcus packed everything and helped Kira and her mother onto the rover. The machine hummed softly, ready to move. But just as they started driving, a drone flew down in front of them. Its red eye glowed. Marcus fired instantly. The drone exploded, more came. Hold on, Marcus shouted. He drove fast through the jungle, dodging trees and firing at drones. The rover shook as it took hits, but Marcus kept going. Suddenly, one of the large thrasher beasts jumped in front of them. Marcus slammed the brakes. The beast roared. Kira screamed. Marcus grabbed his plasma lance and jumped out. The beast charged. Marcus dodged, rolled under it, and stabbed the lance deep into its belly. The beast howled and collapsed. Marcus got back in the rover. We're almost there. He drove straight toward an old stone gate, a hidden entrance to an ancient Zalari bath. Kira opened it with her bracelet. They entered just in time. The gate closed behind them. Silence. They were safe. For now. The ancient stone gate closed behind them with a deep, heavy sound. Inside the passage, everything was silent. The only light came from the glowing moss along the walls. The air was cool, and the smell of old earth filled the space. Marcus stopped, the rover. We're safe for now. Kira looked around, her eyes wide. This place, it's from the old times. My people built this long ago. Marcus stepped out and helped the alien mother down gently. She was still weak but breathing steadily. He placed a blanket under her and gave her more med gel. This path isn't on any human map, Marcus said. Your people really kept it hidden. Kira nodded. Only elders know about it. It was made during the war, when the old hunters came. Marcus looked around. Strange carvings lined the stone walls. Some showed the Zilari fighting large creatures and machines. Others showed families hiding underground. One drawing showed a human-like figure standing beside a Zilari warrior. This one, Marcus pointed. It looks like us. Kira stepped closer. Long ago, some humans helped us. Not many. But they were brave, like you. Marcus didn't answer. He stared at the image, thinking about the drones and beasts still hunting in the jungle above. He thought about Command's voice saying, "Do not interfere." He knew now that some rules had to be broken. The alien mother stirred. She looked up and whispered something in her language. Kira leaned close, listening. "She says thank you," Kira translated. "She says you are a protector." Marcus smiled gently. "She's strong. I just helped." Kira looked at him seriously. "You do more than help, you care." Marcus checked his gear. "We can't stay here too long. Those drones are searching. They might find another way in." Kira looked worried. "Where can we go?" Marcus looked at his map. "There's a ridge north of here. If we reach it, I can call my dropship. It's the only way to get your mother real medical help." "There is a way," Kira said slowly. "Through the ruins." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Ruins?" Kira nodded. "Old city. It's dangerous. My people don't go there anymore. But it's a shortcut." Marcus thought for a moment. "Dangerous? How? There are traps. Machines. Left behind by the old hunters. But I know the path." Marcus took a deep breath. "Then we go through the ruins." He helped Kira's mother back into the rover. Together they traveled deeper into the tunnel until they reached a wide stone door, covered in vines and dust. Kira touched a symbol on the wall. The door rumbled open slowly, revealing a massive chamber beyond. The ruins of the old city spread before them, tall stone towers cracked by time, strange metal statues covered in moss, and broken machines lying in the dust. "This place is incredible," Marcus said. "It's like a lost world." Kira stepped carefully. "Stay on the middle path. The ground outside it is not safe." Marcus drove slowly, following her directions. As they moved, strange sounds echoed. Clicks, buzzes, mechanical, grinding. Broken hunter drones watched from the shadows. Some moved slightly as if waking up. "They're still active," Marcus whispered. "They're waiting," Kira said. They passed a large square with a tall statue in the center. It showed a Kargari hunter, tall, with sharp armor and a cruel face. At its feet were stone carvings of creatures in cages. Marcus stared at it. "These were the ones who made the traps?" "Yes," Kira said. "They came to Viridian 9 to hunt living things for sport. My people fought them, we won, but not before many died." Marcus clenched his fists. "And their machines still hunt." As they moved through the square, one of the statues moved. A metal hunter drone, still working after centuries, turned its head. Marcus reacted fast. He raised his plasma lance and fired. The drone sparked and fell, but the shot woke others. From the towers above, old machines began to crawl down the walls, clanking, buzzing, and ready to fight. "Run!" Marcus shouted. He drove fast through the ruins. Drones followed, some flying, some crawling like spiders. Marcus fired his weapon, hitting two, but more came. Kira held onto her mother tightly. "There's a tunnel ahead," she shouted. Marcus turned sharply and drove into the tunnel just in time. The entrance collapsed behind them, blocking the drones. Silence. They had made it through. The tunnel was narrow and quiet. It led upward, through stone steps and old carvings. After a long climb, they came out into the open air. The jungle was behind them. Before them was a high ridge with a clear view of the sky. Marcus checked his communicator. "Signal is strong." He sent a message. "This is Sergeant Marcus Vale. I am at Ridge Point Delta. I have 2 Zilari survivors. Request immediate evac." He waited. Then a voice came. "Sergeant Vale, your request is approved. Dropship inbound." Marcus smiled. "We did it." Kira looked at him. "Are we going home?" "Yes," Marcus said. "Your mom will get help. You'll be safe." They sat together on the ridge watching the sky. Kira's mother rested, her face peaceful for the first time. As the sun set, the dropship appeared, its engines humming gently as it came down. Marcus stood up and helped them aboard. The pilot looked surprised. "You brought survivors?" "Yes," Marcus said, "and they're the reason I'm still alive." As the ship rose into the sky, Marcus looked down at the jungle, still wild, still dangerous. But now, it didn't seem so dark, because a human had answered a cry for help, and that made all the difference. The dropship flew high above the jungle, cutting through the clouds like a silver arrow. Inside, Marcus sat with Kira and her mother, who now rested on a medical bed. Her breathing was calmer. The ship's gentle hum made Kira sleepy, but her eyes stayed on her mother. Marcus looked at the child. "She's going to be okay." Kira nodded. "Thank you, Marcus." He smiled and sat back. But inside he was not calm. His orders were to leave natives alone. But he didn't. He helped them, saved them, even fought machines to protect them. What would command say? What punishment would come next? Still, Marcus felt no regret. "I'd do it again," he whispered to himself. Suddenly, the pilot's voice came through the speaker. "Approaching outpost Echo 7. Prepare for landing." The ship slowly lowered onto a landing pad near a group of metal buildings surrounded by tall fences. Soldiers and medics waited below. When the ship touched down, medics rushed inside. They placed the Zalari mother on a floating stretcher and quickly scanned her with advanced tools. "She has internal damage," said one medic, "but we can stabilize her." Kira held her mother's hand tightly. "Will she live?" The medic gave a small smile. "Yes, she will." Kira let out a deep breath and wiped her eyes. Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder. "You were brave." "Kira." She looked up. "You were too." As the medics rolled the stretcher inside, command officers approached. Their faces were serious. One of them, a tall man with silver hair, spoke first. "Sergeant Marcus Vale." Marcus stood straight. "Sir, you disobeyed direct orders. You entered a forbidden zone. You aided native lifeforms against regulation." Marcus didn't flinch. "Yes, sir, I did." The officer raised an eyebrow. "You understand there are consequences?" "Yes, sir, but I'd do it again." The officer stared at him. Then, he slowly nodded. "Good." Marcus blinked. "Sir?" The officer stepped closer. "Regulations exist for protection, but sometimes rules change, especially when we're wrong." Marcus was confused. Another officer, a woman with short black hair, stepped in. "The footage from your armor cam showed everything. The trap, the drones, the ruined city, and the child's cry for help. HQ reviewed it." She gave a small smile. They were moved. Marcus was silent. The silver-haired officer spoke again. "Your actions have sparked a debate. The council is reviewing its stance on the Zalari. They may no longer be seen as untouchable natives, but as allies." Marcus looked at Kira, who was now holding his hand. Her eyes were full of hope. "Then it was worth it," he said. Later that evening, Marcus sat in the outpost garden. It was a peaceful place with glowing flowers and tall blue trees. Kira joined him, her legs swinging over the bench. "My mom is awake now," she said happily. Marcus smiled. "That's great news. She asked for you." Marcus stood. "Let's go." They entered the medical bay. The Zalari mother lay on a soft bed surrounded by healing lights. She turned her head slowly and looked at Marcus. "You saved us," she said in broken English. Marcus stepped forward. "You're safe now." She nodded weakly. "My people will remember." Marcus didn't know what to say. He only nodded. Outside, something unexpected was happening. A transport ship landed. marked with the Zalari emblem. Leaders from the nearby Zalari village had been brought to the outpost by request. When they saw Kira and her mother alive, they dropped to their knees in relief. An elder stepped forward. "You helped our blood. You risked your life." Marcus replied, "I only did what was right." The elder looked at the human officers nearby. "Then your kind still has heart." That night, a quiet celebration took place. No loud music or flashing lights, just shared food, soft singing, and warm stories around the outpost fire pit. Humans and Zalari sat together, for the first time in many years. Kira told the story of how Marcus answered her cry. She spoke with pride, and everyone listened in silence. At the end, the Zalari elder stood up. "We call him the human who cared," he said loudly. "Let that name be known among our people." The humans clapped. Even the tough soldiers smiled. But the moment of peace did not last long. The next morning, a scout arrived with bad news. "Drones are moving again," he said. "More than before. And they're headed toward the nearest Zalari village." Marcus stood up. "How many?" "Too many," said the scout. "Dozens, maybe more. Someone, or something, has reactivated the old hunter systems." Kira looked scared. "My home, my friends." Marcus turned to the officers. "We have to help them." The woman officer nodded. "Agreed. We can't ignore it now." The silver-haired commander said, "Prepare a strike team. Marcus, you lead it." Marcus blinked. "Sir? You know the jungle. You earned their trust. Take whoever you need. You leave at first light." That night, Marcus packed his gear again. Plasma lance, armor, drones, medical supplies. But this time he wasn't alone. Kira walked beside him. "I want to help." Marcus crouched. "It's dangerous." "I know the village. I know secret paths. I can guide you." He looked into her determined eyes and saw no fear. Only love for her people. "All right," he said. "But stay close to me." At dawn, Marcus, Kira, and a team of soldiers and Zalari warriors boarded speed gliders and flew low over the jungle. Trees passed below like waves. From the sky, they could already see smoke rising. The village was under attack. Strange, spider-like machines crawled over the homes, firing small energy blasts. Zalari villagers ran for cover. Some fought back with old weapons. Others tried to rescue the young and injured. Marcus jumped off the glider before it landed and rolled into cover. "Team Alpha with me," he shouted. "Defend the main hall." Team Bravo, flank left. Plasma shots flew through the air. Drones exploded. But more kept coming. Kira pointed to a tall tower. "That's the control post. If you shut it down, the drones will stop." Marcus nodded. "Got it, cover me." He ran through the burning village, dodging debris and beams. He climbed the tower, fighting off 2 drones with quick strikes. Inside, he saw the core, a glowing red panel. He aimed his lance. Boom! The tower exploded in a flash of light. Below, the drones stopped moving. One by one, they fell to the ground. Lifeless. The battle was over. Zalari and humans cheered. The village had been saved. Marcus returned to the square, covered in dust and sweat. Kira ran to him, hugging him tightly. "You did it," she said. Marcus smiled tiredly. "We did it." The sun rose gently over the Zalari village. The jungle, once loud with the sounds of war, was now quiet. Smoke still rose from the broken machines that had attacked the village, but peace had returned. Marcus stood on the edge of the main square, watching Zalari children chase one another again. Laughter filled the air. He smiled, but his body ached from the fight. His armor was scratched, his weapons nearly drained. Beside him stood Kira, her eyes wide with joy. Her village had survived. Her people were safe, and her mother, though still healing, had woken again and now rested peacefully. "You look tired," Kira said softly. Marcus chuckled. "I feel like I fought a mountain." She giggled and held his hand. "But you won." He looked around. Soldiers, Both human and Zalari were helping villagers rebuild. New friendships were forming. Where there had once been fear, there was now respect. It had all started with one cry for help. A small group of human officers from Outpost Echo 7 soon arrived, led by Commander Brandt, the silver-haired man who had once warned Marcus about disobedience. Brandt looked at the scene. "You really turned this place around." Marcus stepped forward. "We all did." The commander nodded. "The Council on Earth has received the full report. Everything, from the first rescue to the last battle. They've made a decision." Marcus braced himself. "The Zalari are now recognized as peaceful allies," Brandt said. "The hunting zones will be removed, protection will be given to their villages, and joint programs between humans and Zalari will begin." Kira's eyes lit up. "Does that mean we can visit the stars someday?" Brandt smiled. "Yes, young one, you will." Cheers broke out across the village. Some Zalari warriors raised their arms. A few even bowed in respect to Marcus. Others simply smiled and clapped. Marcus felt a warm feeling in his chest. After years of serving in silence, this moment was different. This was more than duty. This was purpose. Later that day, a special meeting was held under the great tree, the oldest living thing in the village. Its blue leaves sparkled in the sunlight, and its roots spread like fingers across the land. Zalari. Elders stood in a circle with human officers nearby. Villagers gathered around quietly, waiting. One of the elders, a woman with glowing markings on her face, stepped forward. "We Zalari remember pain. We remember loss. But today, we also remember hope. A hope carried by a human who answered a child's cry." Marcus stepped forward humbly. "I didn't do it alone." The elder smiled. "Even so, you were the first." She raised a hand. "We give you the title, Heart of the Forest. You are welcome in our homes, always." Marcus bowed his head. "Thank you." Kira stepped beside him. "Can he stay with us?" Marcus looked at her kindly. "I can't stay forever. There are still other places that need help. But I'll visit. I promise." She smiled and nodded, though her eyes looked a little sad. As the ceremony ended, Marcus walked through the village one last time. Children waved. Zalari warriors saluted him with crossed arms. He reached the house where Kira's mother was resting. She sat up when he entered. Her voice was soft but strong. "You gave us more than safety. You gave us a future." Marcus sat beside her. "You gave me something too." She tilted her head. "You reminded me why I became a soldier," he said. "To protect. To do what's right, not just follow rules." She reached out and touched his hand gently. "Then you have found your true path." That evening, Marcus stood at the landing pad with his gear packed. The dropship waited behind him, engines humming softly. Kira ran up holding something in her hands. "This is for you," she said. It was a small wooden carving, a figure with human armor and a glowing heart. A tiny Zalari child stood beside. Marcus took it carefully. "You made this?" She nodded. "So you don't forget us." He bent down and gave her a hug. "I won't." As the dropship lifted into the sky, Marcus looked out the window. The jungle stretched below. The village lights twinkled through the trees. And far beyond, the stars waited. 3 months later, on Earth, news of the Zalari alliance spread. Some were unsure, others were excited, but most were inspired. Marcus Vale was invited to speak before the Earth Council. Cameras watched as he stood before leaders and citizens. He told them about Kira, about the jungle, about the old machines that still hunted and the ancient stories carved in stone. He ended with these words. "It began with one voice, just one, a child who needed help. And I answered. Not because I was told to, but because it was the right thing to do. That voice taught me that humanity is not measured by our weapons or ships, but by our hearts. If we listen to those who cry for help, We will never be lost." The entire room stood in silence, then slowly erupted in applause. From that day on, many humans volunteered to serve in peaceful missions with the Scifi. Schools were built in their villages, medicine and farming tools were shared, and in return, the Scifi taught humans about the forest, their songs, their language, and their wisdom. Marcus returned to Viridian 9 often, sometimes to train soldiers, sometimes to guide explorers, but always, he visited Kira and her people. 1 day, Kira stood at the edge of the village looking up at the stars. "Do you think I'll ever fly one of those ships?" she asked Marcus. He smiled. "I think you'll fly farther than I ever did." She laughed. "And maybe help someone the way you helped me." Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder. "That's what being human means." Kira looked at him, confused. "But I'm not human." Marcus pointed to her heart. "You are, in all the ways that matter." They stood together in the starlight, and far away, deep in the forest, the broken drones rested in silence. Because one man had changed everything by answering a cry for help. The end.